Can you believe that in the heart of Africa, there is a country that protects its rainforest so well that Norway paid $150 million just so they would keep the trees standing? That's not all. There are mysterious caves that no one has ever explored. And have you ever seen a golden crocodile? But it's not just about nature here. Girls celebrate coming of age with ritual dances to the sound of pounding drums. Men line up for spa treatments even longer than women do. And some taboos will make you say, no way. Here are 15 mind-blowing facts and taboos about Gabon. Let's get started. 15. The French military keeps the throne for the president. Gabon is often seen as a shining star in the Françafrique network, a system of secret ties between France and its former African colonies. Right after granting independence, France quickly signed a series of cooperation agreements that allowed French troops to be permanently stationed in Libreville, gave France the right to intervene whenever a pro-French regime was threatened, forced Gabon to send most of its foreign reserves to French banks, and kept the CFA franc under Paris's control. French energy giants like Elf and Total almost monopolized oil, timber and mineral extraction, with the huge profits fueling the Bongo regime. The clearest proof was the 1964 coup when a group of Gabonese officers overthrew President Léon Mba. French paratroopers took over Libreville airport and restored Mba to power in just 3 days. Since then, the Bongo family has ruled since 1967, maintaining absolute loyalty to Paris. In return, France has always kept the throne for them whenever political turmoil hit. Gabonese people even joke. Want to change the government? Ask Paris first. It's not just politics and economics. French culture is everywhere in Gabonese life. French is the official language used in almost every school and office. French cuisine is present in Libreville's restaurants with Bordeaux wine, baguettes and imported cheese. In the capital, the boulevards, squares and administrative buildings all have a Parisian flair, leading many to call it Little Paris. Wealthy Gabonese send their kids to study in France. The elite vacation on the Riviera and French music and fashion shape the middle class's tastes. Even more notable, the French military base in Libreville still exists today with about 350 permanent soldiers. Nearly 65 years after independence, Paris's shadow still looms over Gabon's politics and culture. So do you think Gabon is truly an independent country or just a disguised colony in the 21st century? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss. The Kingdom of Little People, hidden in Gabon. Deep in Gabon's equatorial rainforest, there's a mysterious community called the Baka, one of Central Africa's pygmy groups. Today, there are only about 2,000 Baka people left. What makes them stand out is their small stature. An adult Baka man is usually just 4'7" to 4'11" tall, while women are only 4'3" to 4'7", meaning a Baka man is almost a head shorter than a middle schooler in America. But despite their size and, the teasing they get, their bodies are lean, muscular and built for speed. In the rainforest, their size is an advantage. They can move quietly through dense brush, swing quickly through vines and hunt with unmatched agility. Despite centuries of discrimination by the taller Bantu people, the Baka remain vital to local culture. No wedding, funeral or harvest festival is complete without their songs, dances and drumming. In fact, neighboring tribes often hire Baka musicians to lead ceremonies. Baka marriage traditions are fascinating too. Men are expected to pay a bride price, not just in money but also in chickens, machetes and other goods. After marriage, couples usually live in the husband's village, but sometimes men move to the wife's village, especially if her parents need help. The Baka still believe in Jengi, a weeping forest spirit said to kidnap wandering children. Today, despite outside influence and changes, the Baka community still keeps its unique identity. In many parts of the world, a girl's puberty is marked by a birthday or a small family party. But in Gabon, this milestone becomes a grand cultural ritual involving the whole village. The Punu people, one of Gabon's largest groups, hold a ceremony called Nyembe, seen as a passport for a girl to officially become a woman. During the ceremony, girls wear raffia cloth outfits, their faces and bodies painted with intricate geometric patterns, and they carry pine torches glowing in the night. When the drums begin, they move in circles, spinning gracefully to the rhythm, while spiritual mothers stand by, guiding them through symbolic moves, firm steps for responsibility, soft turns for femininity. The Punu believe that dance and drums connect girls with ancestral power. The ritual can last days or even weeks, with singing, dancing, feasting and endurance challenges to test maturity. Gabon has over 40 ethnic groups, each with their own coming-of-age rituals, but the Punu's Njembe is the most famous and best preserved. That's why many anthropologists compare Njembe to the Latin American Quinceañera or the Western Sweet 16, but with much stronger community and spiritual meaning. While many rich countries spend billions on carbon capture technology or building artificial carbon plants, Norway chose a different way, paying Gabon just to keep its trees standing. Before the UN Climate Summit in New York, Gabon's Forestry Minister Lee White said, "Norway is paying us not because we destroy forests, but because we haven't and because we manage logging responsibly." The interesting part is Gabon isn't being rewarded for fixing mistakes, but for going against the trend from the start, conserving forests, logging responsibly, and turning pristine nature into a global commodity. Under the deal, Norway pledged $150 million over 10 years, $10 for every ton of CO2 Gabon proves it kept out of the atmosphere. By 2021, Gabon had received its first $17 million, becoming the first African country to get paid for forest protection. This policy has made Gabon the world's largest natural air filter for hire. It raises a big question. In the future, will other forest-rich countries like Congo, Suriname, or Papua New Guinea turn clean air into a major export? Imagine walking down the streets of Libreville, Gabon's capital, and seeing something unusual. Beauty salons packed with men, sometimes even more than women. That's right. In this Central African country, men see grooming as a symbol of confidence and pride, not just vanity. Gabonese men don't just get haircuts or shaves. They get steam treatments, facial masks, full body waxing, manicures, and even neutral nail polish services. Many Western men might hesitate to try. And surprisingly, spa treatments are not expensive. A full men's spa package is about $32, and a quick street-side manicure is just $3.20, 10 times cheaper than in the US. In Libreville, men-only spas are everywhere. You can go to a fancy salon with modern massage chairs or sit on a wooden bench under yellow lights at a small roadside shop, getting your nails done while chatting with friends. Even more unique, Gabon even has a men's beauty day. On this day, salons offer discounts and men flock in to try new services, from traditional herbal shampoos to artistic nail painting. Some young guys even turn hair and skincare into street performances, drawing crowds like an impromptu fashion show. So what do you think? If one day men in your country lined up for spa treatments and made grooming a trend, would you support it? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'll discuss. Do you believe that our world exists alongside another parallel world? It sounds crazy, doesn't it? However, in the indigenous culture of Gabon, especially among the Fang, Kota and Punu communities, people believe that our lives are not alone. Right next to the visible world of humans, there is an invisible world of ancestral spirits, separated only by a thin veil. For them, through special moments with music, dance, or the power of the sacred iboga plant, people can reach that other world and communicate with those who have passed away. This belief weaves its way into daily life. A dream is not just a product of the subconscious, but is seen as a message from the ancestors. If someone dreams of bad omens, the whole family might postpone a hunting trip or even cancel a wedding. Even in community life, many villages strictly avoid cutting down ancient trees because they believe these trees are home to spirits. Cutting them down would mean disrespecting the sacred balance of the forest. The most distinctive aspect is the Buti religion, which has been recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage. During ceremonies, the sound of drums echoes through the night, firelight flickers across mysterious wooden masks, and participants often stay awake for days, chewing roots to enter a trance-like state. In that state, they believe they can meet their ancestors, seek advice, heal their souls, or find direction in life. Billions of years before humans invented nuclear technology, Earth built a natural nuclear reactor, and it happened in Gabon's Oklo uranium mine. The story began in May 1972 when scientists at France's Pierre Latte nuclear plant analyzed uranium ore imported from Gabon. They noticed something strange. The ratio of uranium-235, the isotope needed for fission, was only 0.717%. Normally, all natural uranium on Earth, the Moon, or meteorites contains exactly 0.720% uranium-235. This tiny difference rocked the nuclear science world. Further investigation revealed some Oklo samples had only 0.4% uranium-235, a clear sign that uranium here had undergone natural fission about 2 billion years ago. According to the IEA, Oklo had at least 17 natural reactors running continuously for hundreds of thousands of years, consuming enough uranium to make tons of plutonium. The process was amazing. Groundwater seeped into the uranium mine, acting as a neutron moderator, just like cooling systems in today's reactors. When the water evaporated, the reaction stopped. When water returned, it started again. In other words, Earth itself managed a stable nuclear reactor for millennia, no human hands needed. Imagine a country where every newspaper has only one voice. That's Gabon from Omar Bongo's time, from 1967 to 2009, to his son Ali Bongo. Dozens of independent newspapers appeared, then disappeared overnight, shut down for threatening national stability. The national TV channel is basically a personal PR station, showing the president more than news about ordinary people. Censorship laws in Gabon are so strict that a single interview or news snippet criticizing the president can get a journalist accused. Independent reporters become prey. Phones tapped, emails blocked, some even fleeing to France for exile, just like many journalists from Eritrea or Equatorial Guinea. Even the internet, which is supposed to be a free space, isn't safe. During every election, Gabon's government shuts down social media for weeks, blocking people from sharing information. It's honestly no surprise that Reporters Without Borders consistently ranks Gabon among the world's lowest for press freedom, right up there with the most notorious gagged countries. And the biggest taboo? Never type anything bad about the government. In the US or Europe, you can tweet jokes about the president all day, but in Gabon, a Facebook comment could land you at the police station. Can you imagine? Right beneath Gabon's dense rainforest lies a vast underground world, most of which humans have barely touched. According to geological surveys by Gabon's Geological Research Institute and international expeditions, over 100 limestone and dolomite caves have been recorded, but scientists believe there could be hundreds, maybe even thousands, still undiscovered. Some famous caves have been found, like Lakoni Cave, with huge limestone chambers over 30 meters high, or the Mayumba cave system along the coast, whose twisted rocks look like a giant natural cathedral. Most notably, a Banda cave shocked the science world when the unique orange crocodile was discovered, the only crocodile species in the world with such strange skin, believed to have mutated after living in darkness among bat droppings for so long. Experts call this a parallel ecosystem, a whole other world right beneath our feet. So, if you had the chance, would you dare crawl into a pitch-black cave in Gabon to explore places no one has ever been? Leave a comment. Your answer might reveal something interesting about your own courage. You might not know this, but Gabon is one of Central Africa's wealthiest economies. Thanks to oil, its per capita GDP is over $8,000 a year, 4 times Nigeria's and 5 times the Democratic Republic of Congo's right next door. On paper, Gabon should be an African paradise. But here's the paradox. Gabonese people have to import almost everything to survive, from basics like rice, sugar, salt and flour, to things you'd expect in a rainforest country: vegetables, fruit, processed meat, all shipped in containers from France or China. Even bottled water is imported from France. Even though Gabon gets 120 inches of rain, a year, twice as much as Seattle, Washington. The main reason is the economy relies too much on oil exports while domestic agriculture and manufacturing are neglected. The land is fertile but underused. Most food and goods come from France and China. As a result, Gabon is rich on paper but can't feed its own people, leading to sky-high prices and unstable living conditions. Did you know that in Gabon, a country where beer and alcohol are sold everywhere, from fancy bars in Libreville to roadside shacks in the jungle, being drunk in public is absolutely forbidden? You can drink and party with friends, but if you stagger into the street, talk loudly, or draw attention, the police might pay you a visit. Gabonese law allows fines from 20,000 CFA, which is about $35 to several hundred, and even overnight detention if you're seen as disturbing the peace. Ironically, locals still drink a lot. Gabon is among Africa's top beer consumers per capita, but there's a clear line. Drinking for fun is fine, but turning the streets into a dance floor is not. So, what do you think? If America had a similar law and you could be fined just for stumbling after a party, would it make cities safer or take away some of the nightlife culture? Share your thoughts in the comments. Did you know Gabon has one of Africa's richest collections of wooden masks? And these masks aren't just for festivals, they're part of daily life. The Fang and Punu peoples, who make up over 50% of Gabon's population, don't just display masks in museums, they hang them in homes, shops, even restaurants as symbols of luck and family protection. Each group's masks have their own style and meaning. Fang masks are famous for their half-closed eyes, long noses, and geometric patterns symbolizing strength, dignity, and power. Punu masks stand out for their ivory white faces, red lips, and intricate braided hair, considered the ideal of Punu female beauty. No wonder Punu masks are now among the most sought-after African artworks at international auctions, some selling for $50,000 in Paris. Masks aren't just wall decorations, they're actually the centerpiece of major festivals. At harvest celebrations or community events, Fang dancers wear masks and perform the powerful Ngil dance, which is marked by pounding drums and strong movements. In contrast, Punu mask dances are soft and, really graceful. Can you imagine? Just 7 miles from Gabon's capital, Libreville, there's a place that was once promoted as the city of the future, but now locals call it by the chilling name Ngonje Ghost City. In the early 2010s, Beijing poured hundreds of millions of dollars into building thousands of high-rise apartments, a modern hospital, and especially the China-Gabon Friendship Stadium, seating 40,000 for the 2012 Africa Cup of Nations. On paper, it was an urban dream. But in reality, most apartments are still empty. Why? The apartments cost $60,000 to $100,000, while the average Gabonese income is only about $8,000 a year. So, to buy a home, a typical family would have to save every penny for over a decade. The Ngonje dream became a deserted urban area. Today there are rows of white-painted apartments, sparkling glass windows, but empty balconies, curtainless windows, and not a soul in sight. Wide roads with no cars. Weeds grow through cracked sidewalks, and many apartments have peeling paint and rusty doors as if forgotten for a decade. Locals call it a modern ghost city, a painful irony when thousands of families still crowd into slums in the capital. Even when the government assigned some apartments to officials and the military, most were left empty. Did you know that in the heart of turbulent Central Africa, Gabon stands out with an average life expectancy of 67 to 70 years, much higher than its neighbors? For comparison, in the Central African Republic, it's about 55. In Nigeria, it's 54 to 56, and in Chad, just 53. So Gabon is one of the region's longevity leaders, an island of health in Africa. What helps them live longer than their neighbors? First, Gabon's oil wealth means higher average incomes, so people can access better health care. Second, the population density is very low, just over 2 million people in an area the size of Colorado, so there's less pollution and disease spreads less easily. But it's not just about money. Gabonese people live close to nature. They eat a lot of fish, bushmeat, local vegetables, and little processed food. Traditional dishes like grilled fish in banana leaves, peanut soup, and cooked plantains are nutritious and low-fat. They also stay active outdoors, walking in the forest, fishing, playing soccer, so their bodies get plenty of exercise without modern gyms. Of course, compared to America, which is 77, or Europe, Gabon's life expectancy is still lower. But compared to neighbors just a few hundred miles away, living 10 to 15 years longer is a huge difference. In Gabon, music and dance aren't just for festivals, they're the heartbeat of daily life. From tiny forest villages to the capital, Libreville, the sound of drums never seems to stop. You might see a group of young people set up drums on the sidewalk, playing and singing with crowds clapping and dancing along. The pounding drums and call and response singing create a music style that makes even strangers want to move. Fang people perform energetic dances while Punu dancers impress with white masks and graceful moves in colorful traditional clothes. Today, Gabonese youth mix traditional drumming with hip-hop and Afrobeat, turning beach bars and city streets in Libreville into open-air dance floors. During Libreville's carnival, you'll see unforgettable scenes. Kids chasing drum parades, mothers rocking babies to the beat, and old men sipping beer, swaying to the rhythm that echoes through the whole neighborhood. So, we've just uncovered 15 layers of Gabon's mask. Which fact shocked you the most? If you visited Gabon, what would you want to explore first? The Punu masks, the Baka community, or the gentleman's spa? Leave your comment with your top 3 picks and suggest what topic you want us to dive into next. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next bold cultural journeys. Thanks for watching to the end. See you on the next adventure.